Welcome to Raj Shikshan Sanstha, Western Region, English Medium. Today we are going to learn 10th Standard History, Lesson number 2, Lesson name Historiography, Indian Tradition. In this lesson we are going to learn two topics, Tradition of Indian Historiography and Indian Historiography on various ideological frameworks. So let's start our first topic. We learned about the Western tradition of historiography in the last lesson. In this lesson, we will know about the tradition of Indian historiography. In the ancient period in India, memories of the great deeds of ancestors and mythological lore, also memories of social transitions, were preserved with the help of oral recitals. The inscription on the Harappan seals and other artifacts confirm that Indians had mastered the art of writing as early as the 3rd millennium BCE, or perhaps before that. However, the Harappan script is not yet successfully deciphered. The earliest known written documents of historical nature found in India are in the form of inscriptions. They are dated to the 3rd century BCE, that is, Emperor Ashoka Maurya's times. His edicts are inscribed on natural rocks and stone pillars. From the 1st century CE, inscriptions begin to occur on coins, metal images and sculptures, and also on copper plates. They provide important historical information. We get to know about the dates of various kings, dynastic, then genealogies, then territorial extent and administration of various empires and kingdoms, and also important political events, social organization, climate, famines, etc. of the respective times. So our next topic is historiography in the medieval period. The style of writing Rajat Ragini, the history of Kashmir by Kalhana in the 12th century CE is quite close to the concept of a modern historiography. Kalhana himself says that he wrote this text after critically examining various sources like inscriptions, coins, remains of ancient monuments, dynastic records, and a local tradition. Students, we know that in the medieval India, the historians in the courts of Muslim rulers were influenced by Arabic and Persian historiography. Among them, Ziauddin Barni holds an important place. In Tariq-i-Firuz Shahi, a book written by him, he has stated the purpose of historiography. According to him, the historian's duty is not limited only to the recording of the ruler's value and policies of welfare, but he should also write about the ruler fallings and incorrect policies. Barney further says that a historian should also take into consideration the impact of the teaching of the wise, the learned, and the saints on the cultural life of a people. Thus, Barney expanded the scope of a historiography. For the historians in the Mughal courts, praising the emperors and exhibition of loyalty became more important. The custom of adding suitable poetic quotes and beautiful pictures was also introduced. Babur, the founder of the Mughal Empire, wrote an autobiography entitled Tuzuk-i-Babri. It contains the descriptions of the battles fought by him. Babur also recorded his minute observation of various regions and cities traveled by him, including the local economy, customs, and the flora. Abul Fazl's Akbarnama is very important from the viewpoint of a critical historiography. His method of collecting authentic historical documents and their scrutiny is looked upon as a devoid of bias and hence realistic. Bakhr is an important type of a historical document of medieval times. It contains eulogies of the heroes and stories of historic events, battles, lives of great men. Marathi Bakhars are various types. In that Sabasad Bakar was written by Krishnaji Ananta Sabasad during the region of Chhatrapati Rajaram Maharaj It is an important bucker for getting information about the rule of a Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. Then next Marathi bucker is Bahusahebанची bucker. भाऊसाहेबांची बखर described the battle of Panipat. Another बखर entitled पानिपताची बखर is also about the same event. होळकरांची कैफियत provides information about the Holkars and their contributions to the Maratha rule. Bakhars can be divided into various types such as biographies of kings, dynastic history, descriptions of events, history of a sect, autobiographies regarding grievances based on mythologies and state administration by a king. So our next topic is historiography in the modern period. In the 20th century, the Indian archaeological exploration and research started under the British rule. A number of ancient sites were excavated under the supervision of Sir Alexander Cumming. The first Director General of the Archaeological Survey of India was Sir Alexander Cumming. He chose mainly the sites mentioned in the Buddhist text for this purpose. Harappan civilization was discovered during the tenure of Sir John Marshall. Because of this discovery, the antiquity of Indian history could be traced to 3rd millennium BCE or even earlier. Many British officials in India wrote about Indian history. Their writings display strong influence of the colonial policies of the British. 3 volumes of the History of British India written by James Mill were published in 1817. This was the first book on Indian history written by a British historian. It clearly reflects an absence of objective perspective and prejudice about various aspects of the Indian culture. The History of India, written by Mountstuart Elphinstone, Governor of Bombay, was published in 1841. The period of Maratha Empire is very important in the Indian history. Grant Duff's name stands out among the British officers who wrote about Maratha history. He wrote the book entitled A History of Marathas. This book is published in 3 volumes. Grant Duff's writing also shows the British inclination of condemning Indian culture and history. Similar tendency is witnessed in colonial Todd's writings about Rajasthan history. So students, our today's topic is over. Till then, enjoy learning. Thank